Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Test 1 2. Mic check 1 2. And good morning and welcome into Nobby's Ballpark on the campus of Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. As the Case Western Reserve University Spartans now 17-8 on the season, 6-1 and tied for first in the UAA, and will look to try to complete the sweep of Emory University at home this weekend. Emory 17-10 now, 3-4, and currently in third place in the UAA. It has been all Spartans in this series, as Case Western Reserve has looked excellent over the course of the first three games of the series. On Friday, it was a sweep of a doubleheader, a 10-2 win in Game 1, a 5-1 win in Game 2, and then in Game 3 yesterday, it was a 13-3 Spartan victory, winning on a walk-off by the 10-run rule. And so today, looking to keep that momentum going are the Spartans, as they will take the field here in just a few moments. Again, I'm John Schwartz, bringing you play-by-play coverage of today's game for Case Western Reserve University, and we will get going here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and get you the batting order for Emory University. A little different of an order today with a lefty on the mound for the Spartans. Jake Lawson, the center fielder, leading things off. Matthew Sicoli slides into the 2 spot in the lineup and will be in right field. Jack Halloran, the first baseman, hits third. And then the left-handed hitter, Aiden Conley, power hitter in the lineup for Emory, will slide into the 4 spot in the order with the lefty on the mound. Blake Dinchman, the catcher, hits 5th. Zach Wasserloff, the left fielder, in the 6th spot. Jonah Ronsky, the designated hitter today, he'll bat 7th. Brock Liu playing second base and hitting 8th. And then Zach Hansen, the shortstop, will bat 9th. JT Radigan, the reigning UAA pitcher of the year and UA Rookie of the Year, will be on the mound. We'll tell you more about him when he takes the hill in the bottom of the inning. In the meantime, for Case Western Reserve University defensively, over at first base is Tyler Stilson. The second baseman is Franco Alonso. The shortstop is Nate Arterburn. And over at third base, Zach Carinci. In the outfield, Logan Andreyko in left. Center fielder is Nick Harms. And then in right field, Jay Smith, who is red hot this weekend. Smith hitting over 700 in the series so far. Doing the catching is Jack Anderson, and on the mound is the sophomore out of Palos Park, Illinois. That's Quinn Saunders, the lefty. And for Saunders, an inconsistent year so far in trying to get his footing steadied here as he takes the hill, his first home start of the season. Saunders 0-1 on the year with a 6.59 ERA. He's making his 7th appearance overall. His 8th appearance overall. This will be his 6th start. He's thrown just 13 2/3 innings, though, surrendering only 13 hits. That hasn't been the issue. Opponents hitting just 250 against him, but he has walked 17, and so that has been the problem this year for Saunders. And when he's been around the plate, he's been good, but again, he's got to make sure he's throwing strikes here. He has struck out 18 batters in those 13 innings. And again, for Saunders, that's nothing new. Remember last year, in his first season of collegiate baseball, Saunders had multiple strikeouts in games with double figures. He had 14 strikeouts against Trinity, 12 against Chicago, 12 against NYU, 10 against Brandeis. He did struggle last year a bit against Emory. Really, the first bump in his road was that start at Emory last year. The Eagles, in 3 innings, had 4 hits, drew 4 walks, scored a pair of runs. He did strike out 6 in a short effort in that game. But that came on the heels of 2 pretty dominating efforts from Saunders, that 14 strikeout game against Trinity and the 12 strikeout effort against Chicago. So we'll see what he could do here today. It is a well-rested Spartan bullpen, and so my guess is it's going to be one of those games where certainly if Saunders is effective, he'll keep going. But I think the Spartans will be happy to get 3 or 4 innings out of Saunders, and then some mix of the guys that have not been used yet this weekend, whether that's Jackson Brewer, Oliver Miller, Austin McGowan, Jeff Radinsky, a few other guys as well who have not seen a ton of time or any time on the mound this weekend. But again, it's a well-rested Spartan bullpen, so they should be in good shape. And of course, at the end of the game, Jack Anderson yet to pitch this weekend. So in a close game, you would imagine we'll see Jack Anderson here pitching the 9th. Although, again, the Spartans would certainly hope to avoid a save situation here and would love to keep Jack in the game behind the plate rather than in a save situation. Saunders completing his warm-ups. The lefty will take the hill. And again, we thank you for joining us on what is a cold but for the moment appears to be dry Sunday afternoon in Cleveland. Probably a little bit colder than what Emory is used to playing in this year. For the Spartans, this is nothing new. In fact, if you gave them a beach umbrella and a Mai Tai, this might feel like a day at the beach for them compared to some of the weather they played in. 40 and a little bit overcast. Earlier in the year, they were playing in temperatures in the 20s and low 30s, so you get a little bit of advantage sometimes being a northern team like the Spartans are and having to play through some tough weather compared to a team like Emory that probably this will be one of the coldest, if not the coldest game they played in all year. So we'll see what happens here. Certainly, nothing taken for granted now. This is an Emory team that has not looked great this weekend, but bats could wake up quickly. Mentioned they entered the weekend among the best teams, the best team in the conference, one of the best teams in the country in terms of batting average, but things have not gone their way. For Emory as a team, hitting at just .229 through the first 3 games of the series. Jake Lawson will lead things off here. He's led off all 3 games so far. He's 4 for 11 in the series for a .364 average. He does have 1 RBI. On the season, Lawson hitting at .382. Saunders set to get the day going. His first pitch on the way, working from the stretch in the third base side of the rubber, slings in a fastball at 88 miles an hour for a strike, and it's 0-1. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Lawson, one of just 2 lefties in the lineup today against Saunders, who delivers another strike there, and it's 0-2. Slider, I believe, there. Good velocity, an 81-mile-an-hour slider from Saunders. That's down and in for a ball. Came back to that slider again. Tried to break it over that lower inside corner. And on the inside corner, it's a called strike 3. Saunders catches that inside corner with the slider, which he had been featuring often in that at bat, and there's 1 away. So his fastball and then 3 straight sliders from Saunders to get the strikeout. And that'll bring Matthew Sicoli to the plate, who slides into the 2 spot in the order. He's had a nice weekend, and as he fouls that first pitch back. Sicoli hitting a .404 overall on the season. He's leading the team with a .500 average so far. 5 for 10 with 3 doubles. He had 2 doubles in the second game of the series, as that misses a shade high, and the count evens at 1-1 on Sicoli. Sicoli out of Washington, D.C., the Landon School. Backdoor slider from Saunders catches the corner for a strike, and it's 1-2. Same high school as Case Western Reserve's Dane Camphausen. I imagine the 2 had some overlap there. Ground ball, third base side, foul. Count will stay at 1-2 on Sicoli. Saunders this season, pretty much even splits between lefties and righties. Lefties a little better against him, actually, hitting a .273. He's held righties to a .244 average. The pitch, fouled back again, and it's 1-2 still. One and two, 1 away, base is empty. Top of the first inning, Case Western Reserve and Emory University. Final 4 games this weekend, the 1-2. Popped up, foul territory. Anderson gives a look, but it'll get out of play. Count will stay at 1-2. Saunders shakes off a sign from Anderson. Now the 1-2. And it's grounded third base side. Fielded there by Arterburn. Long throw to first, and he just gets it there in time. Well, Arterburn was shifted slightly towards that third base side of the field, and it was perfect position for him to get one that otherwise would have been in the hole. It wasn't even a ball he had a backhand based on where he was. He was able to field it straight up, and that allowed him to set plan and make a strong throw to first base for the second out of the inning. So Saunders looking for a 1-2-3 first. Standing in his way will be the three-hitter, Jack Halloran. Halloran, a dangerous hitter at the plate. .359 batter for the season, 7 home runs, leads the team with 39 RBIs, and takes a first pitch fastball on that inside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Is that a cutter from Saunders? Two-seamer, straight fastball? Trying to see the spin efficiency rate's a little low there, so that was low for a ball, 1-1. I'm still becoming familiar with some of these TrackMan numbers. Very cool system. Our first weekend of using it here during an actual game at Nobby's Ballpark. Another nice backdoor slider from Saunders, and the count goes to 1-2. That has been a very effective pitch for him so far. So a chance here for a quick first inning for Quinn Saunders. The 1-2 on the way. Looks down at his catcher Anderson and delivers. Swung on, foul down that third base side. Count stays at 1-2. Encouraging for Quinn that he has thrown 15 pitches so far. 12 of them have been in the strike zone. That's a good sign. You know, Quinn's going to learn. His stuff is good enough that he's going to be able to get people out in the strike zone. He doesn't need to pick on the outer edges. He could go get guys, and I think that's going to be the game-changing moment for him when he starts to put that piece together. That ball hit in the air, shallow center. Harms, who's in center field today, comes in, but it drops in front of him for a base hit. So Halloran able to take the slider and dunk it in front of Harms for the first hit of the day, and Emory's got a 2-out base runner for Aiden Conley. Jack Anderson headed back to the dugout. I think he needed to change gloves here. So Anderson going to the backup glove. Must have popped a string on the first one. Anderson will reapply the glove. We'll see if Saunders doesn't have a baseball, so that's going to be a key part of continuing the game here, making sure the pitcher gets a ball to throw. Now he's equipped. So we got gloves, we got balls. We should be set to throw a pitch here any moment. Conley will stand in, hitting at .389 on the year. He's struggled this series with the big exception of a home run he hit here on the first pitch. Pops it up third base side, and unable to get to it is Carinci as it bounces into the Spartan dugout. And it's an 0-1 count on Conley, who, aggressive on the first pitch, pops it up. But he'll get another chance here. Conley out of Nashville, Tennessee, Montgomery Bell Academy. 0-1 in the dirt. Halloran takes the lead from first after singling with 2 outs. Conley sends that one foul, and the count goes 1-2. Just got a piece of that slider. One and two, 2 away. Pickoff attempt at first, not in time. '20th pitch of the inning coming up here for Saunders. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another slider that was perfectly placed, dipped it right below that lower outside corner of the strike zone, and Conley down swinging for the final of the inning. 2 strikeouts in the first for Saunders, who works around a 2-out base hit. And we will move along into the bottom of the first, and let's go ahead and get you the batting order for the Emory Eagles. Pardon me, for the Case Western Reserve University Spartans. Jack Anderson in the leadoff spot as usual. He'll be getting things going for the Spartans. Nick Anderson in the 2 spot. He homered yesterday, his team leading 8th of the year. Tyler Stilson in the 3-hole today for Case Western Reserve, and then Franco Alonso will hit cleanup. Dane Camphausen starting to show signs of heating up at the plate again. He'll be in the 5 spot. Jay Smith, the right fielder, bats 6th. Logan Andraco playing left field and batting 7th. In the 8th spot, Zach Carinci. And hitting 9th is Nate Arterburn, the shortstop. Defensively for Emory, first baseman is Jack Halloran. Second baseman, Brock Liu. Shortstop is Zach Hansen. Over at third base is Aiden Conley. In the outfield, Zach Wasserloff in left. Center fielder is Jake Lawson. Matthew Sicoli is in right. Doing the catching is Blake Dinchman. And on the mound is J.T. Radigan. And Radigan, be interesting to see him today. He's coming off of a fantastic season. He was the UAA Rookie and Pitcher of the Year last year, named to the All-UAA second team, and was very solid last season for Emory. Finished the year 7-1. Over 10 appearances and 6 starts as a first-year player. Had a 3.79 ERA, struck out 27, walked 16 in 40 innings. But this is the number, and again, he walked 16 batters in 40 innings last year. Radigan has walked 17 in just 21 innings this season when he's 1-1 with a 8.72 ERA. And so if you want to look at the difference, that's been a huge issue for him this year. That being said, it's been good and bad for Radigan. He's had some starts where he's looked excellent. He pitched really well against LaGrange in a win. He pitched 2 wins, actually, against LaGrange. But we've also seen times where he's gone out on the mound. For example, against Covenant, he walked 8 batters in 2 1/3 innings in that game. His last time out against NYU, through 4 innings, allowed 9 runs on 9 hits, walked 3. And so for Radigan, it's a little bit interesting to see what you're going to get out of him today if you're an Emory fan. As, again, it's been up and down for the sophomore out of Windermere, Florida. He'll be starting things off here against Jack Anderson. Anderson hitting a .333 on the year, went hitless in yesterday's game. A rare hitless day for Anderson, who takes the first pitch slider for a called strike in its own one. Might have been a curve, actually, there. Now the 0-1, and Anderson chops it high to third. Conley there, circles it, throws to first on target to get the out, and Anderson is retired for the first out of the inning. So Anderson gone, and that'll bring up Nick Harms, who will carry a 22-game hitting streak into today's game. Harms extended that hitting streak in the 8th inning yesterday with a monster home run over the scoreboard in right center field. Trackman had it as a 432-foot home run, 108 miles an hour off the bat. One of a long line of home runs over Nick Harms' career that have traveled a long distance. Some snow starting to fall here. Welcome to Cleveland. As we begin the bottom of the first, that one down low, and it's 2-0 on Harms. And again, you've got a pitcher on the mound from Windermere, Florida. My guess is he probably has not seen much snow in his life. Not that this is going to be anything that coats, but my guess is that this is probably weather that JT Radigan is not used to pitching in. And it'll be interesting to see how he responds. Harms swings, misses at that one, and it's 2-2. Not sure if he fouled that one back. We have the windows closed here in the press box today, and so a little bit harder to hear that ping off the bat than you might if you had the window open. But today's one of those days where maybe you sacrifice that for a little bit of warmth in here. Breaking ball misses outside. 74-mile-an-hour curve for ball 3, and it's full count on Nick Harms. Harms red hot, hitting at .433 on the year, 8 home runs, 34 runs batted in. And he swings, chops that one over towards second base. Fielded there by Lou. Throw to first, and it is just in time. Dug out nicely by Halloran at first base for the second out of the inning. Tough play there for Lou, who had to rush in on a chopper and throw on to first to get Harms, who, despite his prolific power, is an excellent base runner. And so now with 2 gone, the bases are empty for Tyler Stilson, hitting at .358 on the year. Stilson, 5 home runs, 25 runs batted in this year. And he sends that one into left field, and it's another base hit for Stilson. First pitch swinging, he lines one into left. And the Spartans have a 2-out base runner after a 2-out single, similar to Emory in their half of the inning. And so now Franco Alonso to the plate with 2 outs and a runner on. They'll trade out baseballs here. Some rain once again overnight after the game yesterday ended, so imagine that outfield's pretty damp still. Not quite sure it recovered from the rain we got on Friday night into Saturday. Another line drive on the first pitch. This one sent into right field for a base hit. Stilson's going to come around second. He'll head towards third. The throw cut off. And back-to-back singles on 2 straight pitches put runners on the corners with 2 outs for the Spartans. And that will bring Dane Camphausen to the plate, who is starting to show some pretty significant signs of coming out of what's been a bit of a slump for him. He's really been driving the ball well to right center field, and normally for Dane, that's a really good sign. When he is going well, he hits the ball hard to that right center field gap. Let's see what he does here against Radigan. Camphausen, a .347 hitter on the year, 7 home runs, is the breaking ball taken inside for a ball. Runner goes and will make it to second base without a throw for Alonso. That is his 11th stolen base, tying him with Harms for the team lead. So Alonso and Stilson now in scoring position for Camphausen with 2 away. 2 away and a 1-0 count on Dane. Takes that one in the dirt, and it's 2-0. If you're Radigan here, you could pitch carefully to Camphausen, but you face a red-hot Jay Smith out on deck if you choose to put Camphausen on at first. Might be a little early in the game to pitch around Dane here. That one down and in. Nice job by Dinchman to keep that in front of him and prevent it from going to the backstop and allowing a run to score. So 3-0 on Camphausen. He'll get the green light here, but I'm not sure he's going to see anything to hit. And it's a strike at the knees. Good pitch there, as the count goes to 3-1. And that's exactly how you want to approach this at bat if you're Radigan. You want to make pitchers pitches here. If you walk Camphausen, you could live with that. And that's what'll happen here, is that misses down and in, ball 4. And that will load the bases for Jay Smith, who's hitting at .357 on the year, but more impressively, this series, he's 5 for 7 with 2 RBIs. Had a 4-for-4 game in the second game of the series. Picked up an RBI hit yesterday. And will bat here against Radigan with the bases loaded and 2 away. Smith 2 for 4 with the bases loaded this year. Takes ball 1 from Radigan. And it's 1-0. Count. And that one swung on, hit hard by Smith, but fouled down the first baseline, and the count goes to 1-1. Again, Radigan from Windermere, Florida, if I'm not mistaken, the home of Tiger Woods. Have to double check that here. Indeed, Tiger Woods. Outside for a ball, 2-1. Cielo, you know who else is from Windermere, Florida? Jesse Winker. There you go. We were talking about Jesse Winker before the game. Shaquille O'Neal from Windermere. It's apparently the place to be. 2-1 pitch on the way. That one's in there for a called strike. 81-mile-an-hour breaking pitch. So 2-2 now. Bases loaded, 2 away. Bottom of the first in a scoreless game. Curve misses outside. Pardon me, slider misses outside there. Now it's 3-2. So the merry-go-round will be in motion here with a 3-2 count and 2 away. Camphausen from first, Alonso from second, and Stilson from third will all take off on the pitch. The 3-2 on the way from Radigan. And it's fouled away, and we'll do it all over again. Smith a chance to do some damage here in the first. 3-2, 2 away, bases loaded. Again, runners will go on the pitch from Radigan. It will be his 22nd pitch here in the first inning. From the stretch, first base side of the rubber delivers. And it's down low, ball 4. A bases loaded walk issued to Jay Smith by Radigan, and that will bring across the first run of the game for the Spartans, who lead 1-0. So 2 walks after 2 singles, all with 2 outs here in the first. And now a chance for Logan Andreyko to put a crooked number on the board for the Spartans, with the bases still loaded and 2 away. Andreyko hitting at .303 on the year. First pitch to Andreyko. And it's low, ball 1. Andreyko, no home runs, 12 RBIs. He has 6 doubles, 3 triples this year. Scored 20 runs on the season. The 1-0 on the way. And a strike on the outside corner, maybe. And it's 1-1. Alonso at third, Camphausen at second, Smith over at first with 2 outs. The bottom of the first for the Spartans, who lead 1-0. The pitch. Down and in. Count goes to 2-1. Andreyko 1 for 3 with the bases loaded this year. Hits that one up the middle. And making the catch is Lou. It rolls to the bag, and they'll say he stepped on the base for the out. So the shortstop, in an unconventional manner, Hansen had to pick up what was a rolling ball after Lou couldn't make the flip over, but able to get the out, and that prevents any further damage. So the Spartans get 1 on a bases-loaded walk, but that will end the first inning. 1-0 Spartans leading. Coming up in the second for Emory, it'll be Dinchman, Wasserloff, and Wronski when we return. Second inning for Quinn Saunders on the mound with a 1-0 lead. A nice first inning for Saunders, who threw 20 pitches and worked around a 2-out single as he starts things off against the catcher, Blake Dinchman, with a ball up high, 1-0. Saunders, most impressive number there, 20 pitches, 16 in the strike zone. Called strike, and it's 1-1. And again, I think that's probably his mission today. It's just, hey, get out there and fill up the strike zone. And he did that in the first inning, certainly. So a good start for Saunders. Swing and a miss there from Dinchman, and it's 1-2. Dinchman hitting at .379 on the season. 1 home run, 30 runs batted in for Dinchman. Dinchman struggling this week so far, as that one was in the dirt. He takes it for a ball, 2-2. He's just 1 for 10 in the series with 5 strikeouts. Two-two offering coming from Saunders to start off the second inning. And just getting a piece of it there is Dinchman. Count stays at 2-2. If Saunders can give the Spartans anything down the stretch of this season here, what a boost that would be. Again, he was a guy that Case Western Reserve was counting to lead this rotation this year. He's hit a few bumps as the season has gone along, but certainly has shown some signs, including early on in this game, of pitching like he did last year. But behind him, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. Well, the Spartans sort of invented a pitching staff around Quinn. And that's why, as he struggled early in the year, some other guys stepped up. We've seen Eric Colgrove, Oliver Miller, who's pitched well, Charlie Griffith, who's stepped into the rotation, and Tyler Stilson, who maybe the Spartans have relied on more than they anticipated in that starting rotation. Saunders pitch, swung on and missed at strike 3. Back foot slider from Saunders. That is a devastating pitch, and one that, frankly, you don't see executed well at this level by a lot of pitchers. That is a tough pitch to pull off. You see it at the majors more often, although even, frankly, major league pitchers a lot of times are a little bit frightened to throw that pitch, because that back foot slider, if you leave it hanging over the plate, it could be a pitch that could be hit pretty hard. That one down and in for a ball, 1-0. That one stays up high. 2-0 now the count. Now the 2-0 on the way. In there for a called strike. It's 2-1 the count on Zach Wasserloff at the plate, hitting at .221. Takes that down and in. It's 3-1. Three and one the count. Up high, ball 4. So Saunders issues his first walk of the game. Now bring Jonah Ronsky to the plate. Ronsky making his second start of the series. His first as the designated hitter after he caught game 2 of the doubleheader on Friday. That went up high. And it's 1-0. So Saunders trying to find his control again here after looking pretty good in the first inning. That one is just below the knees. Awfully close with that slider, and the count goes to 2-0. Up high, 3-0. And all of a sudden, Saunders finding the strike zone to be elusive here. I'll bring Jack Anderson out to talk to Saunders. Again, the Spartans, who would love to get some distance out of Quinn here in this game, is now Steve Grunberg will come out for a visit as well. But I don't think they'll be afraid to go to their bullpen here with a lot of options who could give them some innings available today. And it appears that one of those options at least will get up in the bullpen. And I believe that's going to be Jackson Brewer, I think. We'll have to take a look. Might be Austin McGowan. We'll have to take a look here. Yeah, that's Austin McGowan, who I think is going to start to throw. So we'll see what happens if Quinn can find his way here. Spartans are leading 1-0 on a bases-loaded walk in the bottom of the first inning. Saunders behind in the count, 3-0 on Wronski with a runner at first who drew a walk. That was Wasserloff. By the way, Wasserloff's 10 stolen bases on as many tries this year, so he is a threat to go. Don't think it'll happen 3-0, but we'll see. Wasserloff takes his lead. Saunders delivers, and it's on the inside corner. Fastball, and it's 3-1. 87 with that one. Saunders has been throwing a lot more of that slider than he has the fastball. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Another fastball. Are those cutters he's throwing there? A little bit of movement on that pitch. And down and in, ball 4. So 3 straight fastballs from Saunders. He gets strikes with the first 2, but then can't locate the third. And so with 1 out now, back-to-back walks, and that'll bring Brock Lou to the plate. Lou hitting a .264 on the season. First pitch from Saunders. Fastball on the inside corner. And again, Saunders going to the fastballs here since that meeting on the mound. Lou 2 for 10 in the series. A pair of base hits. That's down and in the dirt. Great job by Jack Anderson to keep that in front of him. Holds the runners. That's a veteran catching move there by Anderson, who took that pitch down and in and knew if he blocked it in the right direction, there'd be no chance for the runner Wasserloff to move up 90 feet. And you see Anderson sort of positioned his body in a way that allowed it to deflect down that third baseline. That ball hit in the air, deep towards right center field, but Harms has a beat on it. Comes over, makes the catch for the out. Wasserloff tags. Harms gets it in quickly, but Wasserloff will move up 90 feet with 2 away now. Wronski stays at first, and there'll be runners on the corners with 2 outs for Zach Hansen, the 9-hitter. Well, this is the guy that you want to go after here if you're Quinn Saunders. Hansen hitting a .257 on the season. No home runs, 9 runs batted in for Hansen. And with the top of the order looming on deck for Saunders, this is how you could kind of get out of your work around those 2 walks and get through this inning. Hansen 2 for 10 this week. So that one taken up high for a ball, 1-1. Up high, 2-0. 2-0. And a throw down to first. Wasserloff was dancing off the bag at third when the throw came over. Wonder here if, and again, with Saunders struggling with his control a little bit this inning, you wonder if Emory will try to get aggressive on the base pass or try to wait until they get a bit deeper in the count. That one misses up and in with a fastball, and it's now 3-0. Double barrel action in the Spartans bullpen. It's Jackson Brewer and Austin McGowan currently warming up. The pitch, that's low, ball 4. And that will load the bases with 2 away. Third walk of the inning issued by Saunders. And the bases will now be loaded with 2 outs. Back to the top of the order with Jake Lawson coming up. Lawson struck out looking in his first at bat. And a chance to do some damage here with Case Western Reserve leading by a run. Lawson can give Emory the lead with a base hit. Wasserloff, the runner at third. Wronski at second. Hansen at first. Lawson, a .378 hitter of the season at the plate. Lefty-lefty matchup. And the first pitch, outside corner with the slider for a strike, and it's 0-1. Now the 0-1 on the way. Swing and a miss. 0-2, another slider. And now Saunders, a chance to get through the inning. Got to imagine after those first 2 pitches, we're going to see another slider. Boy, the location on that slider today for Saunders has been perfect. He can even expand the strike zone a little bit more horizontally here. As that one swung on and missed at strike 3. Anderson steps on the plate. He'll throw to first just to get the out. Either way, he stepped on the plate, so I think that should have covered it. But either way, it'll be strike 3. And that will end the inning. So the Spartans get through the second. Saunders works around 3 walks in the inning, leaves the bases loaded, and Case Western Reserve leads 1-0 as we move to the bottom half of the second inning. Carinci, Arterburn, and Anderson due up 8-9-1 for the Spartans when we come back. Zach Carinci set to lead things off here for the Spartans, who lead 1-0. JT Radigan begins his second inning of work as that one hits softly on a check swing over to first. 1 pitch, 1 out. As Carinci with an excuse me swing pops one up to first base. And so quickly one retired here. Carinci shaking his head at himself a little bit on that one. I think he's a little disappointed in himself. Certainly not what he meant to do up there, but with 1 away, that'll bring up a red-hot Nate Arterburn to the plate. And, you know, one of the big differences as that one hits Arterburn, one of the big differences in this Case Western Reserve offense compared to earlier in the year is how much production the team has been getting from the bottom of the order, with now, you know, Andreyko sliding down a bit in the order, with Currency hitting the ball much better with Arterburn hitting the ball better. It has been just a more well-rounded lineup, and now the 9-hitter is on base for Jack Anderson, who is 1 run away from matching the school's record for career runs. That ball popped up, shallow right field, foul territory, and it will get out of play. 0-1 the count on Anderson, who grounded out to short in his first at bat, 0-1 on the day, and behind in the count here, 0-1. Arterburn just 2 stolen bases on 2 attempts this season, but the Spartans have been very active on the base paths against Dinchman all weekend long. Throw down to first. Radigan gets it there in time. Give credit to the Emory pitchers, and again, it's been a bit of an MO of this Emory staff. They have always been good as a pitching staff at holding runners on base. Throw down to first, not in time. Radigan needs to be careful here. 1 out, but the big bats in this Case Western Reserve lineup coming up. Starting with Anderson. Runner will go, pitches in the dirt, throw goes down to second, is short, but it gets there in time, and it gets Arterburn, who just did not get a great jump getting down to second, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. A great job there by Dinchman to throw out Arterburn. That is, I believe, the first time this weekend that the Spartans have not been successful on a stolen base attempt. So now Anderson will bat with the bases empty and 2 outs. He takes that pitch for a strike on the inside corner. It's 1-2. The Spartans have been 12 for 12 this series in stolen bases before getting thrown out there. 1-2 on the way. And just below the knees, Anderson hold up. And it's 2-2. 2-2. Radigan rocks and delivers. That ball hit in the air towards the gap, right center field, giving chase is Lawson. Coming over as the right fielder, Sokoli. He settles under it and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So Spartans get a 1-out base runner, but a caught stealing erases him from the pass, and we'll move along into the 3rd in a 1-0 ball game. 2, 3, and 4 due up for Emory. Sokoli, Halloran, and Conley. Some good hitters coming up for the Eagles, who try to get even in this one when we return. 1-0 score. Case Western Reserve leading as we move along into the top of the third inning. A first inning run on a bases loaded walk. The difference so far for the Spartans, who turn to the bullpen and will bring in Austin McGowan to begin the third in relief of Quinn Saunders, who pitched 2 scoreless innings. Matthew Sicoli, first pitch, grounded over to short, throw to first by Arterburn in time for the out, and Sicoli retired on the first pitch thrown by McGowan. So McGowan now settles back in on the hill. McGowan this year 1-1 through 6 appearances out of the bullpen at 10.29 ERA. There's his big curve, probably his best pitch. Misses down low to Halloran, and it's 1-0. Halloran singled. He has the only hit of the day so far for Emory. That came back in the first inning. There he takes a fastball in the inside corner, and it's 1-1. 87 on the fastball. McGowan, 7 innings of work this year. He's allowed 8 hits for a .296 opponent's batting average. Skips that one in the dirt, and it's 2-1. 5 walks, 6 strikeouts for McGowan, who's had a bit of an issue giving up extra base hits this year. McGowan has allowed a double, a triple, 2 home runs. To be fair, one of the home runs came against Kent State. The other one was last week against Wash U. That one fouled off down the line. It's 2-2. McGowan out of Bellefonte, Ohio, a junior. Again, has that great curveball as a weapon. That pitch skips in the dirt. It's 3-2. So full count with 1 away and the bases empty on Halloran here in the third. And that one swung on, line drive, left field, base hit. So Halloran now the owner of both of Emory's hits in this game. He gets his second single of the day, and he's on with 1 away for Aiden Conley. Conley 0 for 1, a strikeout swinging against Saunders back in the first. Saunders, 2 innings of work, allowed just 1 hit, walked 3, struck out 4 in a pair of scoreless innings. So a no decision today for Saunders, who turns it over to McGowan. Each team with 2 hits, the Spartans with a run so far. Again, this is a Spartan team that has a lot of options out of the bullpen today. Curveball there stays up high, and it's 1-0. The 1-0. I'm not sure pitching-wise the first 3 games of this series could have gone any better for the Spartans than it did. They used exactly 2 pitchers in each of the first 3 games. The first game started by Tyler Stilson, finished off by Ayush Shetty. Second game was started by Charlie Griffith, who went 4 innings, gave way to Zach Barnes, who pitched the final 5. Was nearly perfect, walked just 1 batter. It came with 2 outs in the 9th after he retired the first, I believe, 14 batters he faced in that game. That ball popped up behind second base. Should be an easy play for Alonso, and it is as he puts it away for the second out of the inning. So Conley retired. Then in yesterday's game, it was Eric Colgrove who started. He gave way after 2 innings to Austin Stankowski, who went the rest, or pardon me, Archer Stankowski, who went the rest of the way and picked up the win in that one, his team leading 4th of the season. So again, the Spartans, if you were going to draw this weekend up on paper and how you hoped it would go, I think it would have gone exactly this way as Blake Dinchman at the plate takes a called first strike on the curve. Dinchman struck out swinging in his first at bat. And That leaves you with a game for today where Emory probably a little pressed on pitching at this point. They're not as deep a staff as the Spartans are this year. Another one fouled back, and it's 0-2 now on Dinchman. But, Emory's going to have to kind of piece this game together unless they get some significant depth out of Radigan in it, which certainly Radigan is capable of. The 0-2, curveball swung on, grounded up towards the middle. Arterburn with it, jogs it to the bag himself, and a nice play there by Nate Arterburn to get the final out of the inning, and that will sit Emory down here in the third. A one-out single for Halloran, but that's all that Emory will get in this one as he's left stranded, and we'll move along to the bottom half of the third inning. 2, 3, and 4 for the Spartans. Harms, Stilson, and Alonzo due up when we return. Nick Harms set to lead things off here in the bottom of the third inning. Harms grounded out to second base in his first at bat, so looking to extend that 22-game hitting streak here in the third against Radigan as he sees him for the second time today. First pitch from Radigan on the way, and it's a nice breaking ball there for a called strike. Boy, that had some sharp break to it. Just froze Harms there. It's a good pitch from Radigan. 0-1 on the way. I think he tried to go back to that. Didn't have that quite same break on it that he did the first time. Misses down low, and it's 1-1. 1-1 on the way to Harms. Fastball. Little outside. It's 2-1. Everything Radigan throws has some movement on it. And there's a called strike with a curve. And it's 2-2. It's just interesting to see Radigan compared to the number one pitcher for Emory, Zuckerman, who was all heat. Zuckerman was throwing about 93 or so, peaking at 93, was in the low 90s the entire game in the first game of the series. So just very different looks. Yeah, one of the great things about baseball, there's no one way to do it on the mound. Another one outside, and that'll be ball 4. Third walk drawn today by the Spartans to go along with a hit by pitch, and the leadoff man is on, and Nick Harms, and I would be very surprised if Harms is not running here with Stilson coming up. Tyler Stilson red hot. He singled and scored the only run of the game so far. He's batting now at .333 in the series coming into this game, so that'll go up a little bit. Now 5 for 14. 5 for 13, I believe, excuse me. Throw down to first, not in time. Harms has stolen 11 bases on 11 attempts this season. He takes a few steps off first here, trying to get a read on Radigan. not running. And Stilson sends that in the air. Center field right at Lawson. He'll move a few steps now towards the scoreboard in right center before putting that one away for the out. And Radigan is able to retire Stilson. Spartans are always an aggressive hitting team. That might be a situation where you would benefit if you're Stilson from giving Harms a pitch or two to try to run on, as opposed to attacking early. But listen, you can't argue with Stilson the way he's been hitting this season. For one, to take a shot there, and he singled on his first pitch his last time up. So trying to jump on Radigan again didn't work out as well that time, as that one misses down low for a ball. It's 1-0 to Franco Alonso, who had a base hit in his first at bat. Again, especially with Radigan throwing a lot of breaking pitches, you got to think this is a great opportunity to run if you're Nick Harms. Although we did see Arterburn get thrown out last inning, but that being said, Harms is a significantly better base runner than Arterburn, a better base stealer, I should say. And he's going here. The pitch is taken inside for a ball and moving up to second on a stolen base, despite it getting past the catcher. Harms was running on the pitch. It goes to 2-0 count, and Harms gets his 12th stolen base of the year. So Harms will stand at second. Alonso at the plate. And he can add to the Spartans' lead here with a base hit, and Harms at second. Alonso hitting at .367 on the year, including the base hit earlier. Here's the pitch. And a big swing and a miss was out in front of that breaking ball. And the count goes to 2-1 on Alonso, who ramped up on a hitter's count but came up empty. Alonso's driven in 15 runs this year. Harms dancing off the bag at second. Alonso sends it in the air, and it'll be into center field. Another chance for Lawson, who puts it away for the out, and there's two gone. So Harms standing at second now with two away, and that'll bring Dane Camphausen to the plate. I think if you're Emory today, pitching-wise, ideal situation would be Radigan could get you through 6 or 7 innings, and you could turn the game over to their closer a bit on the early side, who has yet to pitch here, Bennett Spiker. One and 0 count now on Camphausen, who's hitting at .347. Down and in, 2-0. We saw Radigan maybe not exactly pitch around Camphausen, but didn't look like he wanted much to do with him his last time up with first base open. In a similar situation here. 2-0 pitch on the way. Big swing and a miss from Camphausen, who got a little antsy there after seeing a lot of balls. Took a cut at a pitch down low, and the count goes to 2-1. You could be crafty like that if you're a good hitter, and I'll explain in a sec, hopefully. As that pitch is in the dirt, gets away, and moving up to third base is Harms on a wild pitch as the count goes to 3-1 on Camphausen. But, if you're Dane, you take a cut at that pitch down low, you make it a 2-1 count, and you sort of force the pitcher at least into thinking that, hey, maybe this isn't a bat I should, compete a little bit more in the strike zone as opposed to conceding it. You get that one strike and you say, okay, maybe I could get this out. But, you can be crafty like that if you're Camphausen, knowing that you'll get another shot later in the at-bat potentially to hit something. Takes that one outside, though, and Radigan, who did not throw one in the strike zone in that at-bat to Camphausen, issues the walk, his second of the inning, fourth of the game. And now Jay Smith, another chance to do damage here. Smith has the only RBI of the game so far for Case Western Reserve. He drove it in with a bases-loaded walk in the first, and will face Radigan for the second time here today. Smith, a .357 hitter on the season, a .391 slugging percentage for Smith. The walk was just, a .391 on-base percentage, slugging at .476. The walk was just his third of the season, so he's not necessarily a patient guy at the plate. He's going to attack, but a really good contact hitter, too. He struck out just 3 times. And that's something, 3 strikeouts and 42 at-bats. When you look at this Case Western Reserve lineup, that's something that a new dimension that Smith brings to this lineup. He really makes good contact. The comparison I used to make with Jay that I know he's heard and he always sort of liked it was the Jeff McNeil comparison for him. He's a guy who, is not going to strike out a lot, going to get the bat on the ball, but still be aggressive at the plate. Not necessarily a power guy, but someone who could dunk the ball into different parts of the outfield. He'll get a chance here with 2 outs once again and 2 on the corners. So Smith ready. Camphausen at first, not a threat to run. Breaking ball there, and it's a called strike, 0-1. Dane might have attempted a first and third play, especially the way the Spartans have been running this weekend. But he won't be doing it in, again, his current state. So that's outside. Doesn't at least appear to be at 100% currently after suffering that leg injury earlier in the year. So 1-1 count on Smith with men on the corners and 2 away. Another good breaking ball. That one catches the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. And so Radigan a strike away from getting through his second straight scoreless inning and leaving 2 men stranded. Smith trying to fight back in this at-bat. Awaits the 1-2 from Radigan, who takes a long pause, now sets and delivers the 1-2 pitch. And Smith fouls it off to stay alive. Count stays at 1-2. Radigan 53 pitches deep. 26 of those have been strikes, so he's basically split down the middle. 26 strikes, 27 balls right now. 1-2 pitch on the way to Smith. And that's well outside. It's 2-2. You can see the strategy here from Radigan. He's trying to get that breaking ball on the outside corner, going for the backdoor breaking ball here to the lefty Smith. And if you're Jay, you've got to be careful of that. It might be a good opportunity to try to take something the opposite way. 2-2 on the way. Stays outside. A little bit more on that one. It was a 79-mile-an-hour pitch. That looked like the slider, and that's, I got to imagine with 3-2, 2 away, Camphausen will be moving. That's got to be setting up that slider, the break on that, setting up that curveball on the outside portion of the plate now that he's been trying to land throughout the latter portion of this at-bat. Here's the 3-2. And there it is. It's left hung over the middle, bobbled by Halloran. He picks it up, though, flips to Radigan, who covers, and that will be the final out of the inning. So good job by Smith to recognize that pitch there, but grounds it out to first. And the Spartans will leave 2 stranded here in the third. It remains a 1-0 Case Western Reserve lead as we move into the fourth. Coming up for Emory, 6, 7, and 8 in their order. Wasserloff, Vronsky, and Liu when we return. We're set to begin the top of the fourth, and another new pitcher on the mound for the Spartans. Already the third pitcher used today for Case Western Reserve after scoreless outings for Quinn Saunders, who went the first two, and Austin McGowan, who went the third. It'll now be up to Kyle Geerding, who comes in relief to try to see what he could do here against an Emory lineup. And first pitch, Zach Wasserloff is hit by that pitch, and he will be on at first. We'll see with Geerding here if he can find his way. It has been a struggle at times for Kyle this season, who has started all 4 games he's pitched in so far this year. This will be his first appearance out of the bullpen, and is 0-3 with a 6.55 ERA. He has now walked a lot of guys, just 7 in his 11 innings of work, but he's allowed 20 runs, even though just 8 of those are earned. He's given up 22 hits now in 11 innings, a 400 opponents average, as the count goes now to 1-0 on Jonah Ronsky, who drew a walk in his first at-bat. He'll square to bunt here, and does bunt it down the first base side, but it'll tail foul and out of play. And the count evens at 1-1 on Ronsky. Again, we mentioned before that this is a day where the Spartans have a lot of pitching options, and Coach Matt Englander seems content to try a little bit of all of them so far today. 1-1 on the way. And that one bunted up in the air, foul. And the count goes to 1-2. Tyler Stilson over at first base today. Boy, take a moment here to talk about Tyler and his play at first. Tyler had never played first base before heading down to South Carolina when Dane Camphausen got hurt, and Tyler had to come in to play first. It was something the Spartans had. That was always the team's rough plan, potentially, to if something happened to Dane, was to potentially move Tyler over to first base. And he has just embraced that fully. And you got to give him a lot of credit, learning a new position that, there's that one hit foul by Ronsky. Count stays at 1-2. I think there's this thought that first base is an easy position to play, and it may not require the same range that playing shortstop might, or the same arm ability that playing first base might, but there are certain nuances to playing first that make it a difficult position. How do you hold a runner on? What situations? How do you stretch for a baseball, which sounds easy, but there's strategy to all this. How do you cheat in? There's a lot going on at first base beyond the fielding aspect. They'll check out in the field, but Ronsky held on that one, and the count stays at 2-2. Umpire in the field today is Eric Dickey, who is behind the plate in games 1 and 3 in this series. Behind the plate is George Tidewell, who's the home plate umpire for game 2 as well. Was out in the field for the other 2. That one misses outside from Geerding, and it's 3-2. Kyle, the senior, he's from Cincinnati. Attended Anderson High School. And on the outside corner, a called strike 3. Geerding parked a fastball right on that outer edge. That is a perfect pitch from Kyle. Right on the black against Ronsky. Can't do it better than that. So 1 away now, and that will bring Brock Lou to the plate, who flew out to center field in his first trip to the plate back in the second inning. Lou hitting at .261. First pitch fastball misses up high, and it's 1-0. We'll see what the Spartans try to get out of Geerding here, if this is just a 1-inning outing or if they try to get a little bit more length out of him. One on the way. Throw down to first instead. Not in time. Wasserloff takes his lead at first. The pitch swung on, fouled away. And it's 1-2. Cold day here in Cleveland, at least compared to the rest of the week. It was beautiful Thursday. Not too bad on Friday either. Yesterday was warm despite rain before and after the game. We ended up with a pretty dry day yesterday, at least during the course of the game. As that one swung on, hit hard towards second, and it gets through for a base hit. Going all the way to third is Wasserloff. And it'll be a base hit for Lou. Alonso almost got to that one. It was just out of his reach. That's one probably in hindsight, as opposed to going for the backhand on it. He might have tried to lay out and at least tried to keep it in the infield, but his only play, or his only chance at an out, I guess, was going to be to try to backhand it and flip over to second. In the meantime, they'll bring up Zach Hansen to the plate, who drew a walk in his first at-bat. Takes a called first strike from Geerding, and it's 0-1. You know, Kyle has had a lot of those this year, as that one is fouled off. And I think that's a little bit of the mystery with Kyle, is that he gives up a lot of contact. It's not always good, but, you know, balls against him just seem to find holes in the infield. Kyle's saying something to the umpire in the field, although I think he was just waiting for the ball to come back out of play. Indeed, he was. So he's ending the count 0-2 on Hansen. Big out for Geerding to try to get here. See if he tries again with something out of the zone. That one's popped up. Shallow right. In to get it is Smith. Tagging from third is Wasserloff. Here comes a throw from Smith. Stilson lets it go through the plate, but Wasserloff scores. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Hansen, and it'll be a tie game, 1-1 the score. So 1-1 the score now as Emory evens it here in the fourth on the sacrifice fly for Hansen. Now 2 away and back to the top of the order with Jake Lawson, who's 0 for 2. He struck out twice, both of those coming against starter Quinn Saunders. Geerding can get through this inning without any further damage, but has to go through Lawson. Leadoff hitter for the Eagles, who is batting at .374 on the year. RBIs for Lawson. He's scored 33 runs. Of his 34 hits, 8 doubles and a triple. If you're Lawson right now, just want to try to keep this inning going. You don't necessarily need to drive the run in here with Matthew Sicoli and Jack Halloran out on deck, 2 of the hotter hitters for the Eagles this weekend. First pitch taken down low, ball 1. Another one outside there, and it's 2-0. Two and 1. That fastball on the outside corner. Geerding took a little bit off of that one to locate it and put that on the black on the outside corner of the lefty Lawson. Now the 2-1 on the way. Squares to bunt, gets it down the third base side, but foul, and it's 2-2. Jack Millman came out to hand the home plate umpire a few baseballs. A little juggle on the exchange there between the two. Pickoff attempt at first. Lou able to dive back in after getting a bit stuck in the mud there. The metaphorical mud, that is, on the turf infield. On the way back. Swung on, ground ball to first and through for a base hit. Going to third is going to be Lou. And that will keep the inning going on the base hit from Lawson. And now runners on the corner is the potential go-ahead run just 90 feet away, and a dangerous hitter coming up here in Matthew Sicoli. Sicoli 0 for 2 in this one. He's grounded out to short twice, but has been red hot this weekend. Came in as the hottest hitter in the Emory lineup into today's game so far this weekend. Was hitting at 500 for the week coming in. Takes the first pitch down low, 1-0. Sicoli now 5 for 12. 3 of those hits doubles. Yet to drive in a run this weekend, but could do it here with a base hit. Nice pitch on the outside corner. Slider for a strike, and it's 1-1. Down and out, 2-1. Another slider there. I think Geerding tried to locate that one back on that outside corner. If not, maybe expand the strike zone a little bit, but missed a little too far with that one, and the count's now at 2-1. And that one hit in the air, right field, deep but playable. Smith going back, and he makes the catch. So Jay Smith able to put that away for the out. He never looked completely comfortable with that one out there, but he's able to track it and put it away for the out to end the inning. Emory gets even in the game, though. A run on 2 hits despite 2 men being left on, and the potential go-ahead run just 90 feet away. And we'll move to the bottom of the 4th in a tie game. 1-1 the score. Bottom of the order for the Spartans. Andreyko, Carinci, and Arterburn due up when we come back. Logan Andreyko set to lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th inning in a 1-1 game between the Spartans and the Eagles. Case Western Reserve has won the first 3 games of the series. Emory trying to pick up at least one in the trip down to Cleveland. Have even the score with a run in the top of the 4th. Bottom of the order for the Spartans, Andreyko, Carinci, and Arterburn. And said it before, when this team has been going well lately, it's been this bottom part of the order that's really driven the success. That one has popped up. Left side of the infield, shortstop Hansen is there, and he makes the catch for the out. So Andreyko retired for the first out of the inning, and now Zach Carinci will step to the plate.
Number 31, Zach Carinci.
Carinci 0 for 1, had an swing in the 2nd inning that he popped up over to first base on the first pitch he saw. Wouldn't be shocked if he's taking all the way here after that first at bat. Zach's average climbing up now. Arterburn's average climbing up. Just a much longer lineup when you have those guys going well like they have been all weekend here, really for the last 2 weeks. Carinci had a 4-hit game on Friday and sends that down the line in left field. That's down for a base hit, and it dies in the mucky outfield. Heading to second will be Carinci with a double. And the Spartans, with a 1-out double from Carinci, have a man in scoring position with 1 away. You could tell the outfield is feeling it from what has been a weekend of on and off rain, really a week of on and off rain. And there, that ball from Carinci, which was hit pretty hard, hit the outfield, took about 1 bounce, and then just died out there. And so it was a long run for the left fielder, Wasserloff, to get in and get it, and there was no chance to prevent Carinci from getting to second base. And so now Arterburn will be the batter. Was hit by a pitch in his first trip to the plate, batting at .273 on the season. He 3 for 3 in yesterday's game. Takes a pitch on the inside corner of the curve for a strike, and it's 0-1. Now the 0-1 offering. Inside, and it hit him. What did Nate do to JT Radigan to get beamed twice today? Sure, no intent there by Radigan. But that'll put 2 on with 1 away, bring Jack Anderson to the plate. Well, Anderson sits 4 bases shy of the program's record for total bases. Career record, that is, and can even the record here with 1 big swing. Sure he'll settle for a go-ahead single as well as he swings at the first pitch and grounds it foul. And it's 0-1. Not the best of series for Jack, who is just 3 for 14 coming into play today, now 3 for 15, so hitting a 200 in the series. The 0-1 on the way. That one's in the dirt. Blocked well by Dinchman, who's done a good job blocking some of those pitches today. You know, the thing you forget about Jack is that he's a second-year law student now. And, you know, he's got some demands on his schedule that some of the other guys on the team might not necessarily have. It's not easy to be in the second year of law school and playing college baseball. You don't see a lot of people doing that. Runners will go. A hit and run. Anderson sends that into shallow right center, but coming in to get it is Sokoli. He makes the catch. Everyone will retreat. And that will be the second out of the inning. Anderson retired for the 3rd time today. Second time he's flown out to right. And now with 2 gone, that'll bring up Nick Harms. Harms 0 for 1, a ground out and a walk. Spot for Nick Harms to do some damage. Hitting at .429 on the year. Homered in yesterday's game. And the fastball in the dirt, 1-0. Harms now 6 of 13 so far this weekend. 4 runs scored, 4 runs driven in. He's been walked twice. Missed outside, and it's 2-0. Harms was 1 for 5 in yesterday's game. The solo home run came in the bottom of the 8th inning to lead off the frame in order to extend his hitting streak to 22 games. 2-0 on the way. And he swings, ground ball hit up the middle, through for a base hit. Coming around the corner at third is Carinci. He'll come in to score without a throw. Going to third base is Arterburn. Nick Harms just keeps on delivering for the Spartans. He extends his hitting streak to 23 games with an RBI single and gives the Spartans a 2-1 lead.
Now batting for CWRU, number 10, Tyler Stilson.
Well, that has been how the season has gone for Nick Harms. And, again, you think of Nick as a power hitter, but he's doing it on so many levels right now, and they're just singling up the middle to give his team exactly what it needs, a base hit. So now Harms, who, again, I think will be in motion during this at-bat, 1 stolen base already in the game, as Stilson takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. I wonder if Stilson there was expecting Nick to run as he took the breaking ball. See if Harms is running here, 0-1. Nope. And that one swung on. Grounded softly to second. Fielded there by Lou, who will apply the tag to Harms to end the inning. But the Spartans regain the lead. An RBI single for Nick Harms, and Case Western Reserve will take a 2-1 lead into the top of the 5th. It'll be Halloran, Conley, and Dinchman due up, heart of the order for Emory when we come back. Oliver Miller takes the hill for the Spartans in relief of Kyle Geerding. Fourth pitcher of the game used for Case Western Reserve. And I imagine here Miller, Spartans hoping to get a little length out of him today. Again, 2 innings for Saunders, an inning apiece for McGowan and Geerding. And now Miller will take over, the first-year player out of the Washington, D.C. area. From Lorton, Virginia, where he attended St. Stephen's and St. Agnes High School. 6 foot tall, 220-pound first-year pitcher. He throws hard, and he's been effective. 2-0 on the season with a 2.53 ERA through 6 appearances out of the bullpen. He's gone 10 2/3 innings. Opponents hitting just 200 off of him. First pitch, it's a slider for a called strike to Jack Halloran, and the count goes to 0-1. Halloran, Conley, and Dinchman for Emory here in the 5th, with the Spartans leading 2-1, each team with 4 hits apiece. Clean game, no errors yet in this one, as Halloran fouls that one off, and it's 0-2. Halloran has 2 of these Eagles' 4 hits in the game. He singled in both the first and third innings, but was left stranded on the base paths each time. 0-2 on the way. And that one in the dirt. Slider in the dirt there from Miller. Tried to get Halloran to chase on the 0-2 pitch, but to no avail as the count goes to 1-2. One, two on the way. In the air, center field. Harms still running after it, but has a read on it, and on the move makes the catch out in front of the scoreboard for the first out of the inning. Interesting to see Nick Harms back in center field, where he's looked pretty good out there. Again, Harms, great speed out there, good arm. He's played right field for the majority of his career, but did see some time in center as a first-year player. Let's bring up Aiden Conley to the plate. Conley, a tough out, hitting at .382 on the season, but 0 for 2 in this game and has struggled throughout the series. Despite hitting a home run in yesterday's game, that's one of just 2 hits so far this weekend for Conley. That one fouled off, and the count evens 1-1. Miller this year has allowed 4 runs, just 3 of them earned. He's walked 8 in his 10 2/3 innings. He struck out 16. So when he's going well, he is a tough pitcher to face. Misses outside, and it's 2-1. Again, I think if Coach Englander was drawing this one up in a perfect situation, he looked for Miller to get probably at least through the 7th or 8th inning potentially. And if needed, then you could turn it over to Jack Anderson to try to close out a close game, or maybe let Miller try to finish it out if he's effective. But, you know, with the guys you've used so far, and with probably who's available in your bullpen, it's going to be important for Miller to give them some length today. That one lined down the first base side, but foul. Count stays at 2-2. Conley turned nicely on that one. That was a slider on the lower inner portion of the plate. Two and two still on Conley. The pitch from Miller in the dirt. Full count, 3-2. One away, bases empty. Emory batting in the top half of the 5th inning. 2-1 the score. The rain has stopped today. It was, frankly, probably more sleet than rain earlier on here, but that has subsided. We should be precipitation free for the remainder of the day. Knock on wood. And the fastball just misses. 88-mile-per-hour fastball just off the outer corner. I think that's one where Conley kind of dropped the bat and started running before he even knew if that was going to be called a ball or a strike. That was awfully close. I think it was the right call, but just missed being strike 3 there. So now runner on, 1 away, and the batter is Blake Dinchman. It's just the 4th walk issued today by Spartan pitching. And that one by Dinchman fouled back. And the count goes to 0-1. Dinchman 0 for 2, a strikeout swinging, grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice in the third. He's hitting at .371 on the season. Dinchman, 1 home run. He's driven in 30. Good bat in the lineup, but another bat that struggled here this week for Emory, trying to break out of it. The 0-1. Fastball misses inside, 89 with that one. And the count evens, 1-1. In the air again, deep to right center field. Long run for Harms, but he's underneath and then falls, and he makes the catch. Well, that's a good job by Nick Harms to stay with that one. We mentioned the outfield is a little treacherous out there. Harms was able to get there. That wasn't the issue. It's what happened once he got there. Stepped in a slick spot in the order or in the field. And as he was falling down, stuck his glove out and did a good job to stay with that one, even while his legs were failing him. And so a big out there, 2 gone now. As the first pitch, a knee-high fastball to Zach Wasserloff for a strike, and it's 0-1. Wasserloff has scored the only run of the game today for Emory. He was hit by a pitch back in the fourth last inning, eventually coming around to scoring a sacrifice fly. Yet to have an at-bat in the game, he walked and was hit by that pitch in his 2 trips to the plate. Pickoff attempt to first, not in time. Miller not necessarily fast to first with his pickoff move, but he gets it there quickly. He could really whip the ball over quick, a nice compact arm motion. It's not the easiest guy to steal a base off of. In fact, just 1 stolen base attempt this season against Miller. Called strike, and it's 1-2. Miller trying to get through the inning unscathed. Is 1-2 with 2 away. Wasserloff, did he go? No, says the umpire in the field. And the count goes to 2-2 on the Eagles left fielder. Two. Runner goes. The pitch inside for a ball. Throw goes down to second. No one covered. And moving up to third is Conley. That's going to be a tough luck error on Jack Anderson, who threw it exactly where he's supposed to. There was just no one covering. Meanwhile, the count goes to 3-2 at the plate. So stolen base and an error is Conley now 90 feet away, representing the potential game-tying run. Not sure where the confusion was there. That should, I believe, have been Franco Alonso's base to cover with the right-handed hitter up. Instead, it's a 3-2 count, 2-away runner at third. The pitch for Miller. And that's in the air, right field, deep but playable. Smith trying to line it up. The wind playing tricks with it out there, but Smith makes the catch and the inning is over. So a 1-out walk issued by Miller. He ends up at third base, but Miller able to work around it once again as Wasserloff flies out to end the frame. And we will move into the bottom of the fifth, Case Western Reserve coming to bat. 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Alonso, Camphausen, and Smith due up when we return. It's a 2-1 score. Case Western Reserve leading here as we move into the bottom of the fifth inning. A quick-moving game here. At least it feels that way. I guess we're an hour and a half in already. But feels like we're moving along at a pretty quick pace here with Franco Alonso due up to start the inning. Alonso 1 for 2 in the game. A single back in the first. Flew out to center in his last at-bat. Facing Radigan for the third time today. It's been a pretty good outing for Radigan, who delivers a strike, and the count goes to 0-1. Again, coming off a rough start against NYU. He's bounced back nicely today. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Down low, ball 1, 1-1, excuse me. Looking around the UAA, the Spartans currently tied for first place with Chicago. Chicago lost yesterday to WashU. They still lead that series 2-1. So that one's taken for a ball. But Chicago, which had been undefeated in UAA play before yesterday, takes their first conference loss. That ball grounded to second in time for the out.
Hitting out for the Spartans, number 40, Dane Camphausen.
Now bring Dane Camphausen to the plate with 1 out and the base is empty. Camphausen has walked twice today. In the other series, NYU and Brandeis completed their series yesterday. They played 2 doubleheaders as that one sent on a hop over to short. And Hansen throws to first. Camphausen never dropped the bat. And, boy, Dane's getting a little quirky out there recently, isn't he, with that leg injury. He's sliding into bases. He's taking the bat with him to first base on a ground out. So 2 gone now. Bases are empty, and that'll bring up Jay Smith. And that pitch is taken outside. Remember, Dane got thrown out of a game against Emory last season in Emory for tossing the bat, so maybe a little nervous there. Playing it safe and just taking the bat with him to first. 2-0 the count. 3-0 as that's up high to Jay. Jay's hitting at 349, 0 for 1 today. A bases loaded walk to drive in a run and grounded out to first base in his 2 trips to the plate. 3-0 pitch. And a strike on the outside corner, 3-1. 80th pitch of the game there for Radigan. No action in the Emory bullpen currently. NYU and Brandeis split their series. There's another one on the outside corner. How about this? The first game, pardon me, so that one bounced over. We'll talk more about that NYU Brandeis series. That one's grounded out to end the inning. Smith grounds out to first for the second time today, and we'll move to the 6th. It's a 2-1 lead for the Spartans. Ronski followed by Lewin Hansen, bottom of the Emory order when we come back. Welcome back once again, everybody. It's Case Western Reserve leading 2-1. Second inning of work for Oliver Miller in relief. Pinch hitter for Emory will be Mitchell Smallwood, who will take over as a designated hitter for Jonah Wronski with the righty down the game. Hits a little bouncer over the middle. Arterburn gets out of his glove. Did Stilson hold the bag? He did for the out. So nice job there. One pitch went out. 6-3 on the putout. I think Arterburn had a little bit of trouble getting that out of his glove. I'd love to tell you about that NYU Brandeis series, but could really use Brock Lou to take a few pitches here so I can get the story out. It's been a couple quick innings here. Miller, first pitch on the way. And that misses inside for a ball. 1-0 to Lou, who's 1 for 2 on the day with a base hit. In that NYU series, so Brandeis yesterday and NYU, Brandeis won the first game of their doubleheader yesterday, 14-0. Of those 14 runs, 12 unearned. Only 2 earned runs surrendered by NYU. But, NYU in the past few years, NYU had typically hoped, I think, for better results against Brandeis. I think Brandeis a little better this season. NYU probably down a little bit. And I think you're starting to see the delineation a little bit more as to who the top teams are in the conference. That one hit foul and out of play by Lou, and it's 1-2. I think you're starting to see, certainly, I think the top 4 in the conference appear, at least right now, to be Chicago, WashU, Emory, and Case Western Reserve. I think that next weekend will be very telling for the Spartans, who will have the opportunity to get through and what in theory, and I'm going to say in theory because you never know when you actually get to the games, should be the 3 toughest series that they have to start their UA schedule. They've already taken 3 of 4 from WashU last weekend on the road. They have Emory at home, have won the first 3 games in the series, hoping to finish it off here, and then we'll head to Chicago next weekend. And what will likely be a series that more or less helps to decide who the UAA champion will be. Off the outside corner. We'll see what happens today in that WashU series that is scheduled to wrap up today. 2-2 on the way from Miller. Fastball. Little low, and it's 3-2 on Lou with 1 away here in the 6th. Chicago currently leading in the bottom of the 3rd. It's 1-0. WashU has Townsend Stevenson on the mound, pitching in the 4th game of this series for the Bears. As Lou takes that down and out for ball 4. So second walk issued by Oliver Miller. Puts a runner on with 1 away. Second time he's issued a walk with 1 out in the inning. I'll bring Zach Hansen to the plate with 1 away and a runner in on base. Hansen hitting at .257. He's yet to tally an at-bat in this game. Walked back in the 2nd inning, had a sacrifice fly in the 4th. That was his 10th RBI of the season. Miller takes a deep breath, now settles in. Throw down to first, not in time. Mentioned Townsend Stevenson on the mound for WashU. Remember, heading into last weekend's series against Case Western Reserve, Stevenson was coming off a no-hitter. Another throw down, not in time. And he was greeted rudely last week by the Spartans, who really set the tone in that series by hitting Stevens pretty hard. Quickly to the plate there goes Miller and delivers the first pitch ball to Hansen, 1-0. Now the 1-0 on the way. That one hit up towards the middle, through for a base hit. First hit against Miller today, stopping at second is Lou, but the 8 and 9 hitters both reach for Emory here with 1 out in the 6th. And now Lawson will be the batter, the leadoff hitter. He's 1 for 3 in the game. we have a quick break in the action. Do want to say hello to Cody and Danielle, my two kids who are watching from home today, who have barely seen me this weekend, so want to make sure I get my hello in before Danielle takes her nap here in a few minutes. Called strike now to Lawson. Big moment here in this game with 2 on and 1 away. Lou at second, Hansen at first. The 0-1 pitch. Down and away, 1-1. Lawson a single in the fourth. He's also struck out twice. 380 hitter on the season. Big at bat for him here with 1 out and 2 on. Potential game time run at second. Go-ahead run is at first for Emory as that one misses outside, 2-1. Again, Emory's gotten a strong outing so far from J.T. Radigan, and they're in position to potentially turn the game over to their closer early. As that one hit hard down the third baseline, and that'll get into the outfield for an extra base hit. Coming into second is Lawson. Going to third on the play is Hansen. Lou comes around to score on the RBI double. And Emory is even the score, 2-2, and now a chance to add on here. With 2 in scoring position and just 1 away. And the meat of this Emory order coming up. 3 straight 1-out base runners reaching for Emory, including that RBI double for Lawson, who's now 2 for 4 in the game. And now Matthew Sicoli will be the batter. Again, hot coming into the game, but 0 for 3 facing Miller for the first time. That pitch taken down low, ball 1. It looks like Jeff Radinsky will step up in the bullpen for the Spartans as he will begin to throw. Down and out, 2-0. 2-2 the score. Sun's starting to peek out maybe from behind some clouds here at Nobby's ballpark. Spartans hoping to take that for a good omen. Scully hits that in the air, deep towards right. Coming over is Smith, still coming, and in foul territory makes the catch. Tagging from third, and coming in to score the go-ahead run is Hansen. And a sacrifice fly from Sicoli makes it a 3-2 lead for Emory as the Eagles take their first lead of the day. Lawson moves up to third. And now it'll be up to Jack Halloran, who's 2 for 3 in the day, to try to drive in the run with 2 outs. Halloran hitting .368 on the year. Breaking ball, inside corner for a strike and its own one. Mentioned that Emory's probably going to try to get the game right to Bennett Speicher. 6'1", 170-pound senior and closer for this Emory team. As once they get out of, once Radigan completes his day, as that one's fouled away. And again, I wouldn't be shocked after he has not been used yet in this series if they look for Spiker to potentially get in this game for a 2 or maybe a 3-inning save. That one lined into left field, and it's another hit for Halloran, his third of the game, and that one will drive in Lawson. And Emory now with a 2-run lead. It's 4-2. So Emory showing signs of life here. 3 runs across in the 6th. And that may be it for Oliver Miller as Matt Englander coming out. He will make the call of the bullpen, so we'll get a pitching change here. Case Western Reserve down 2, 4-2 the score. We'll be back in just a minute. A new pitcher on the mound for the Spartans as Oliver Miller's day will be done. This will be number 12, Jeff Radinsky, the lefty out of Port Washington, New York, where he attended Paul D. Schreiber High School. 5'9", 155-pound lefty. This year, Radinsky making his 6th appearance out of the bullpen. He's gone 4 2/3 innings, allowed just 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting .235 against him. And he'll come in here with Aiden Conley at the plate. 3 runs across already this inning for Emory, with the Eagles now leading 4-2. Not mistaken, 4-2 lead is the largest lead Emory has held in this series. Emory never led in the first game. They were up 1-0 and 3-2, or they were up 1-0 in the second game of the series, and again led 2-0 and 3-2. That's misses for a ball to Conley, 1-0. So again, it's Emory with a lead that has been elusive for them here, and we'll see if they can hold on or even add on here with Radinsky taking the hill. Here's the 1-0. In the dirt for a ball, 2-0. This is a big outing here for Radinsky, who's got to try to keep this at a 2-run deficit and let the Spartan bats go to work. .2-0 on the way. That one's in the dirt, 3-0. Here's the 3-0 offering. And that's up and out, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk by Radinsky to start the outing. So I'll bring up Blake Dinchman to the plate, 0 for 3 in this one. A strikeout, grounded into the fielder's choice, and flew out to center in his 3 plate appearances. First pitch from Radinsky. And down and in, ball 1. Five straight pitches out of the strike zone by Radinsky. See if he could settle in. There's a strike. Right under the arm, under the hands for a strike to Dinchman. Imagine Dinchman was taking until he saw a strike. Let's see what he does here now with a 1-1 count. One offering from Radinsky. And that's popped up first base side. Long run over by Stilson. Won't be able to get to it. And it's a 1-2 count. That's it if you're Radinsky right now. Just try to get this out and get back to the bench and let your bats go to work. 1-2 from Radinsky. Ahead in the count for the first time today after back-to-back strikes. That one in the dirt, blocked by Anderson. It's a 2-2 count. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Radinsky comes back to get the strikeout, and that'll end the inning. But the Spartans get 3 runs, or pardon me, the Eagles get 3 runs to take the lead. It's 4-2 Emory. Bottom of the order for Case Western Reserve, and Draco, Carinci, and Arterburn when we come back. Logan Andreyko set to lead things off here for the Spartans, trailing now 4-2 against JT Radigan, who delivers a first pitch strike. 0-1. Andreyko 0 for 2, a ground out and a pop out so far today. Radigan up to 83 pitches. And the count goes 2-2. He's had a nice outing today. Really good bounce back for him. 0-2 from Radigan. And swinging and just getting a piece of it to stay alive is Andreyko. And the count stays at 0-2. Emory in a position now to potentially take 1 of 3 this weekend from the Spartans. 1 of 4, excuse me. And Andreyko just got a piece of that, fouling it off himself in the batter's box. Count stays at 0-2. Chicago's still leading 1-0. That game now in the bottom of the 4th. And a swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt, strike 3. Dinchman throws down to first to get the out. And there's 1 gone here in the 6th.
Now batting for the Spartans, number 31, Zach Carinci.
So that brings Zach Carinci to the plate with 1 away and the bases empty. Carinci doubled with 1 out in the 4th. 1 for 2 in the game, now hitting a .290 on the year. That was Carinci's 3rd double of the year. And checks his swing at an inside breaking ball, and the count goes to 1-0. Action in the Emory bullpen. As that one-liner into right center field, that'll be a base hit. Carinci will make an aggressive turn at first, but nowhere to go. And Carinci with another single. And there's a runner on with 1 away, bringing the potential game-tying run to the plate in the form of Nate Arterburn, who's been hit twice today. Bennett Spiker is warming up in the bullpen for Emory, and here comes Bobby Perez out. And we'll see if that's it for JT Radigan here, with Spiker ready to go. And this will be a long save opportunity, I believe, for Spiker, who we have yet to see this weekend. Let's see. Bobby Perez out there, and he will go to the bullpen. And so that'll be it for Radigan, who leaves after a really nice outing. Will give way to Spiker here, who is well rested with 1 out in the 6th when we return. New pitcher on the mound for Emory will be the senior out of Baltimore, Maryland, Bennett Spiker. Spiker is 6'1", 170 pounds. Righty beginning his warm-ups. He's got 6 saves already this season, 10 saves for his career. 1-0 on the year with a 4.08 ERA. He's made 9 total appearances this season through his 17 2/3 innings. He's struck out 17, walked just 4. And will come in here looking for a long save opportunity. Should he close this one out, it would match his longest outing of the year. He went 3 2/3 against Piedmont 2 outings ago. Struck out 5, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits that one. He was used last weekend against NYU, went 2 innings in an outing, gave up 2 runs, 1 earned on 4 hits, no strikeouts, no walks. So, again, based on the profile, Spiker looks like someone who's going to be around the strike zone. He'll give up some contact, but tends to not get burned by it. It was a good day for JT Radigan, whose line is not final yet with the runner on first base, his responsibility, but 5 1/3 innings for Radigan. 5 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. And he will leave with a lead. In line for the win should Spiker close this one out. Again, a lot of baseball left with Nate Arterburn at the plate. Runner goes. The pitch swung on and fouled back by Arterburn. It's a 0-1 count as Carinzi will have to retreat. Arterburn has been on base twice today. He's been hit by a pitch each time he's been up. Arterburn has had himself a nice series. 3 for 3 in yesterday's game. Is the 0-1 on the way? And he hits that in the air, center field, playable for Lawson. Barely has to move and puts it away for the second out of the frame. So 2 gone now for Jack Anderson.
CWRU, the leadoff hitter, number 5, Jack Anderson.
Anderson has been a bit of a struggle the last 2 days. He's now 0 for 7 over the last 2 games. Trying to get a hit here, keep the inning going. Carinzi gets back as he took his lead from first. We'll see if Carinzi's running here. Zach, a pretty good base runner. 4 stolen bases on 5 attempts this year. Spartans trailing by 2. 4-2 the score. Emory leading. Here's the pitch to Anderson. Nope, throw over first. And again, Carinzi diving back in. Spartans have been running pretty frequently throughout this series. We'll see if Carinzi tries to get in scoring position here. He goes. Anderson takes the pitch in the dirt. The throw goes down to second. And safe is Carinzi. The throw took a short hop. It forced the second baseman, Lou, to come forward to field it. And Carinzi slid to the outfield side of the bag, giving him just enough space to get in there before the tag. Meanwhile, it's at a 1-0 count now on Anderson, who's got a big RBI opportunity here to make it a 1-run game. The 1-0 on the way to Anderson. And it's in the dirt, and it gets away, and that will get into the Spartans' dugout, and that should allow the runner to score. Indeed, it does. It's a 2-base wild pitch, and the Spartans will get the run back. It's now 4-3. Or are they sending him back to third? Yeah, they're going to send him to third, so no run there. Carinzi will have to get back to third base. So it's 4-2 still. Two 2-0 the count now on Anderson. See if Jack gets a pitch to hit here. Taking 85-mile-an-hour pitch on that outside corner for a strike, and it's 2-1. Two 2-1 on the way. Fastball down and in, 3-1. Have to be careful here if you're Spiker. There's really no good answer. If you walk Anderson here, you're facing harms, but Jack's too good a hitter to just give him something to hit here. 3-1. It's outside, ball 4. And so it will be Nick Harms coming to the plate. 1 for 2 in the game with an RBI single. He's hit now in 23 consecutive games. And we'll bat here with men on the corners and 2 away. Carinzi the runner at third, Anderson at first. Good speed out there with both base runners, and Anderson, who's a very crafty base stealer. We'll see if he's running here. First pitch to Harms, outside portion of the plate for a strike, and it's 0-1 on Harms, who's a .434 hitter now on the season. The RBI single in his last at-bat gave him a team-high 35 runs batted in for the year. Here's the 0-1. And he swings, grounds that one up towards the middle, smothered by the shortstop Hansen, who flips to second in time to get the out, and that ends the inning. So the Spartans leave 2 on base, and we will move along into the 7th. It's 4-2 Emory. Coming up this inning for the Eagles, it will be their 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Pardon me, their 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up. Wasserloff, followed by Smallwood and Liu when we return. Jeff Radinsky back out on the mound. He'll begin his first full inning of work. With the Spartans down to 4-2 as we begin the 7th. Radinsky on the hill. First pitch on the way to Wasserloff is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Wasserloff hitting at .219. He is 0 for 1 in the game with a flyout to right. He's also walked and been hit by a pitch. Radinsky got a strikeout to end the 6th. So that's there for a strike, and it's 0-2. Now we'll hope to settle in here and keep this at a 2-run game and see if the Spartan Bats can wake up a little bit on what has been a bit of a slower day than we've seen from them as of late. That one's in the dirt for a ball. Similar situation for what we saw at Wash U last week, where the Spartans got off to that really good start to the series, won the first 3 games, and then just couldn't quite finish things off. They'll have a chance here. Certainly this game much closer than that game was, and the Spartans still very much alive in this, but they've got to start getting some hits here. That ball popped up, and we'll get out of play. This count stays at 1-2. Radinsky making his 6th appearance of the season. He pitched last week against WashU, went 2/3 of an inning in the 13-7 victory. Got 1 strikeout, allowed just 1 hit. It's down low. His longest outing of the season was just an inning in the 3rd against Johnson and Wales. Struck out 1 batter in that game. He's yet to face more than 4 batters in a game this season. Well, I'm sure the Spartans will be looking to get a little length out of him here today. Ayush Shetty is up in the bullpen and throwing again. He last pitched on Friday. Two and two now from Radinsky. That one sent foul. 2-2 count to the first batter of the 7th for Emory. Verdinsky rocks and delivers the pitch. Outside. 3-2, full count. Payoff pitch on the way. Radinsky takes a breath and delivers, and it's fouled away. Good job by Wasserloff to stay alive. Another 3-2 from Radinsky. And it's in the air, center field. Harms tracking it. And he'll put it away for the out, one gone. So Wasserloff retired. And it looks like we'll get a pinch hitter coming in here for Mitchell Smallwood. This, I believe, is going to be Ryan Henry, the righty. Henry getting his first appearance of the series. He's 2 for 15 on the season. Both of his hit singles. He's driven in 3. Henry, a junior out of Villarica, Georgia.
Attention please, now batting for Emory. 24, Ryan Henry.
Called strike, and it's 0-1 on Henry, the pinch hitter. Swing and a miss, 0-2. One, 2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good fastball there. Radinsky got it up to 87. And so now 2 gone, and Brock Lou will be the batter, the 8-hitter in the Emory lineup. Radinsky looking for the 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th, trying to get those Spartan bats back up. First pitch to Lou, swing and a miss, it's 0-1. Lou 1 for 2 in the game. He singled, walked, and scored a run. Up high, 1-1. Already the longest outing of the season for Radinsky, at least in terms of batters faced. Two and 1 the count. So that pitch misses. Two one offering. Radinsky rocks and delivers. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there. Mixed in the slider. And the change in speed had Lou fooled. And now Radinsky a strike away from getting through a 1-2-3 7th. Gets a pitch he likes, shakes very affirmatively at Jack Anderson, and now rocks and delivers. And it's on the outside corner, a called strike 3. You had a feeling when Radinsky shook his head that way, he was going to throw something with a lot of confidence there. And indeed he does, as he parks it right on that outside corner, framed perfectly by Anderson. And the Spartans will come up to bat here in a 2-run game in the 7th. It's 4-2 Emory. Heart of the order for Case Western Reserve. Stilson, Alonso, and Camphausen due up when we come back. Welcome back. Once again, it's Case Western Reserve trailing by 2, looking for a little late inning magic here, down a pair of runs, trying to get a rally going. The Spartans, 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error today. Emory, 4 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Most of the damage done for the Eagles in that 6th inning when they scored 3 runs off Oliver Miller. And now they lead 4-2 as Tyler Stilson leading things off and takes the first pitch for a strike from Spiker, 0-1. Spiker got the final 2 outs of the 6th. Again, I believe he'll be in this one for the distance. Just a question if the Spartans can get to him. That one hit softly. Foul by Stilson, and the count's at 0-2. Stilson continuing to swing a good bat. Has a base hit today, one of the 5 for the Spartans. Single back in the first, and eventually came around to score one of the 2 Case Western Reserve runs. That one stays up high. 1-2 the count now on Stilson. Zach Carinci is up in the bullpen and beginning to throw. So interesting, we may see Zach get into this game as Stilson does not make contact, swings and misses. The throw is low, but scooped nicely by Halloran at first. And that will be the first out of the inning, 2-3 on the putout. So 1 gone for Franco Alonso, who will try to get on base ahead of Dane Camphausen out on deck. Alonso hitting at .359 on the year. He's 1 for 3 with a base hit today. Has a stolen base as well. Alonso, 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in this season. First pitch, breaking ball, stays low, and it's 1-0. Still 2-0 lead for Chicago. That misses inside for a ball, 2-0. Again, that series next weekend looming big, and if you're the Spartans, you would love to find a way to come back in this one and ensure that you headed to Chicago, at least tied for first place in the UAA. .3-0 on the way, and it's spiked for ball 4, and that's probably not what you want to do there if you're Spiker. Despite the irony in his name, as reaching first is Alonso. And Dane Camphausen, who, despite not having the numbers necessarily to show for it this week, has really made some good contact. He came into this game hitting at just .250 for the weekend. But he's starting to really drive it. That one hit up towards the middle, flipped to second for 1, on to first, and in plenty of time to get Camphausen, who is not running well currently. And a 6-4-3 double play will end the 7th for the Spartans. So a 1-out walk, but a ground ball ends it. We'll move to the 8th, 4-2 the score, 9-1-2 for Emory. Hanson, Lawson, and Sicoli due up when we return. Well, after retiring the side in order in the 7th, Jeff Radinsky back out on the mound to start the 8th, hoping to keep this at a 2-run game and see if the Spartans can do something in their final 6 outs now. He'll face the 9-1-2 hitters as the first pitch misses up high to Hansen 1-0. Zach Carinci was warming up in the bullpen between innings, and I imagine he would be the next option for the Spartans if they need someone here in the 8th to take over. Breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-1. Down and out for a ball. 2-1. Stays up high, 3-1. Well, the good news if you're the Spartans is that you've got Smith, Andraco, and Carinci due up next inning, which means that at the very least, Anderson, Harms, and Harms will each get another at bat, whether it be in the 8th or the 9th. Stilson to follow them, so the Spartans will get some of their better bats up here in what, at least for the moment, is a close game. Radinsky's job is to keep it there. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, foul back. Radinsky came with the fastball. 34 pitches now in relief for Radinsky, who's looked sharp out there. Came in, got the final out of the 6th, pitched a 1-2-3 7th. Hansen, the 9-hitter up. Radinsky comes set and delivers. Up high, ball 4. So leadoff walk to the 9th hitter in the lineup. Now Jake Lawson will be the batter. Lawson, an RBI double in his last at bat. Came around to score a run. He's also singled, 2 for 4 in the game. He struck out twice. Both of those came against Quinn Saunders. Squares to bunt here, pulls it back and takes the pitch down low, ball 1. One and one the count. Breaking ball called strike. It's 1-2. It's a big one to get with 2 tough righties coming up next. And Sicoli and Halloran. Runner goes, and it's a pickoff attempt. Throw goes down to second, and it is not caught. And that'll go as a stolen base. And a big steal there for Hansen, who was picked off, but a little slow developing. Remember, that's a bit new for Tyler at first base, who's only a few games deep into his career as a first baseman, and that's one of the harder things. It's a different direction than you're used to throwing in if you're an infielder. And so now 1-2 runner in scoring position. That one's in the dirt. I believe it's now 3-2. 2-2? Sorry, 2-2. Might have pushed the ball button on my computer in extra time there. 2-2 count. Two-two pitch. And on the outside corner with the slider for a called strike 3. So a good out there is Lawson down looking. That's his 3rd strikeout, all of which have come against the left-handed pitchers for the Spartans. Now it gets a little trickier here if you're Jeff Radinsky, as he will face 2 tough righties in a row with a runner in scoring position. Fastball called strike, and it's 0-1 on Matthew Sicoli. Scully 0 for 3 with an RBI today. Runner will go. Huge jump and no chance to get him. It was a massive jump there for Hansen, who took a little bit of a walking lead and then just took off for third. And now it's a 1-1 count on Scully with a key insurance run just 90 feet away for the Eagles. In the air, right field, down the line and deep, but that will get foul and out of play. And now Radinsky ahead in the count, 1-2 against Scully. Spartans will pull the infield in here, trying to cut the run down at the plate, and with a 1-2 count, head coach Matt Englander is going to come out. Ayush Shetty, I believe, warming in the bullpen. And we'll see if the Spartans go to the bullpen here, if they leave Radinsky in there. No decision here for the Spartans. And let's see, and they will go to the bullpen. And it will be Shetty who comes in here. And the change will be made with the 1-2 count, so we'll be back. New pitcher for the Spartans. Runner at third, 1 away, 1-2 on the batter, Scully, when we come back. And that one gets away, rolls all the way on the first pitch from Shetty, and that will allow the runner to score. Well, before we could even announce Ayush Shetty into the game, a wild pitch brings across the run. And so the Spartans now trail 5-2. Empty bases here with 1 away, and we'll see if Shetty, who is making his second appearance of the weekend, with a 2-2 count on Scully. Pardon me, a 3-2 count now as that one misses outside. And just outside ball 4. So Shetty comes in and throws 3 straight balls, including a wild pitch. And so that walk does go to Shetty. I think it's unless the count is 1-0, right? Is that what it is? Every other. Yep. So Shetty will get credit for the walk. That's in the dirt for a ball. Thank you to Eddie Carrickas for helping out with that. I think so. The rule is as long as if the batter is ahead in the count, right? Isn't that if the batter is ahead in the count for any count except 1-0 when the pitching change is made, then it goes to the previous pitcher on a walk. Otherwise, to Shetty in that case. So that is Shetty's runner out there at first. The day done on Radinsky as that run will count against him. So Sicoli now on after the walk. Halloran at the plate, and Halloran's had himself a nice day. It's now a 3-run deficit for the Spartans, who have a little bit extra lifting to do now if they want to get back in this one. Halloran hoping to make it a little bit trickier. He's picked up 3 hits and 4 at-bats. Runner will go. The pitch is in the dirt, and another stolen base as Sicoli takes second. Count goes to 2-0, and Shetty struggling to find the strike zone right now. Anton Sabo has begun to warm in the bullpen. 2-0 on the way. In the air, center field. Coming in is Harms. He falls again, but once again recollects himself and finds it and puts it away for the out. That is twice. Harms has struggled to find his footing in the outfield, but both times has recovered to make the catch. And despite being a little scary there, that's a big second out. And now Matt Englander heading out to the bullpen. I think he's going to go a lefty-lefty matchup here with Conley coming to the plate. And we'll see if Sabo comes in here. Shetty faced Conley in his first outing of the year, or of the series, but he won't get a chance to do it here. It'll be Sabo who comes in for the lefty-lefty matchup when we return. Anton Sabo on the mound for the Spartans, the first-year southpaw coming in to get at least one big out here. Sabo wears number 15, a first year out of Falcon Heights, Minnesota, Roseville area high school, 6'4", 220-pound southpaw. Sabo making his 5th appearance out of the bullpen this year. He's 1-0 with a 7.50 ERA, 6 innings of work. He's given up 10 hits for a 357 average, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Spartans hoping to take advantage of the lefty-lefty matchup here. First pitch, swung on, popped up, shortstop, and making the catch is Arterburn, and Sabo does his job getting the pop out to end the inning. But the Spartans the Eagles add on one more run. It's now 5-2 as we head into the bottom of the 8th. Case Western reserves 6 outs to try to get at least 3 runs here. We'll send Smith, Andraco, and Carinci to the plate when we come back. Jay Smith looking to get things started for the Spartans here, who trail 5-2 to Emory in the final game of this series. The Spartans have already won the series. It was the team's 8th straight UAA series win, dating all the way back to 2023. But certainly entered today hoping to put the finishing touches on this one. And bats have been quiet today. They trail 5-2. Jay Smith takes the first pitch for a strike in its own one. Smith, Andraco, and Carinci due up. Smith 0 for 2, an RBI and a walk in this one. Looking to, again, just get a rally going here. It's up high. His walk came in the first inning with the bases loaded and 2 away. He's been hitting well this weekend. See if he can get one here to start something for Case Western Reserve against Bennett Spiker, who's in his 3rd inning or 2nd full inning of work. And there it goes, a base hit for Jay Smith. And now the question is, do you pinch run for Jay here? Maybe shore up your defense in the process. It looks like Jay will run. Probably down 3. I don't think you need it. It's probably the smart move to not pinch run for him here. Especially, again, I think you're looking at a situation, if you're the Spartans, where you might need some pinch runners. Or pinch hitters, I should say, throughout today, with potentially using position players to pitch as this game goes on, with Zach Carinci and Jack Anderson being 2 of the better options currently on the left in the bullpen for the Spartans, and both are currently in this game. Logan Andraco at the plate. Andraco 0 for 3. Takes a called strike, and it's 0-2. Logan now hitting at .293 on the season. Spartans trying to break through here. They scored a run in the first, a run in the 4th. Emory, after the Spartans scored the run in the first inning, they led 1-0 until the top of the 4th when Emory scored. Spartans answered right back, took a 2-1 lead, but a 3-run 6th is the difference currently from Emory. 0-2 on the way to Andraco. just off that outside corner. And it's 1-2. One-two pitch. And he swings and just gets a piece of it to stay alive. 1-2 still. Well, said earlier in the broadcast that when the Spartans have been hitting it well the last 2 weeks or so, it's been the bottom of the order that has really been producing. And we'll see if that holds true this inning. As the 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball outside, 2-2. But an important role here for the bottom of this Spartan order to try to keep the line moving and give the bats in the top portion of the lineup a chance with runners on base. Especially now down 3 instead of just 2. That one swung on off the glove of the pitcher, right to the second baseman for 1, on to first, and they say in time, and boy, it looked like Andreyko had beaten that one out. But that'll go as another double play. It's a 1-6-4-3 double play as that ticked off of Spiker's glove. It awfully looked like Andreyko had beaten that one out at first. Matt Englander arguing the call with the umpire in the field, but that's not the kind of call that you're going to get much relief from an umpire there. It's the umpire in the field's call. It's not something that you really check with the home plate umpire. Again, you can have the argument here, but that call is going to stand, and Draco is out on the play. And so now 2 outs here in the 8th, and Zach Carinci will bat with the bases empty. Carinci, 2 hits today, including a double, singled in his last at bat back in the 6th inning. And we'll face Spiker here with 2 outs now, and the bases empty. After the double play. First pitch, first strike, and it's 0-1. Spiker just 28 pitches, so he should have plenty left in the tank here to close this one out. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Now the 0-2 pitch. And swing and a miss, strike 3 as Carinci went chasing the high fastball. He goes down on 3 pitches and a double play and a strikeout. Put a quick end to a Spartan threat in the 8th. No runs, a hit, no errors, no one left on base. We will go to the 9th, 5-2 Emory leading. It'll be Dinchman, Wasserloff, and Henry looking to add on when we return. Anton Sabo stays out on the mound to begin the ninth. He'll face Dinchman, Wasserloff, and Henry. One pitch, one out for Sabo, who came in relief last inning, and Dinchman takes that pitch for a ball, 1-0. Dinchman 0 for 4 in this one with a pair of strikeouts. Fouled back, 1-1. And he gets hit by the pitch. So Dinchman, who had been struggling, leads off the ninth with a hit by pitch. And there'll be a runner on here in a 3-run game. Jackson Brewer has begun to pick up a baseball and throw in the bullpen. A bit surprised to see Jackson throwing at this point. I'm surprised we didn't see him earlier in the game if he was available. This is outside for a ball to Wasserloff, and it's 1-0 as he squared to bunt. Wasserloff 0 for 2 with a walk and a run in the game. Ryan Henry out on deck. As that one popped up on the bunt attempt, that'll get into the stands. And the count goes to 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Well, if you're looking ahead to next inning, if you're the Spartans, you've got Nate Arterburn due up, followed by Jack Anderson and Nick Harms. Stilson to follow. Certainly the right guys coming to the plate next inning for Case Western Reserve, but 3-run deficit's a 3-run deficit, and Sabo now 2-2 on Wasserloff here. He's got to get through this inning and keep it at that 3-run game. 2-2 on the way. We're over to first, not in time. Up high, 3-2. Payoff pitch. Fouled back. Count stays at 3-2 on Wasserloff. Three-two on the way again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wasserloff down swinging for the first out of the inning. So Henry will come to the plate for the second time today. Ryan Henry, that is. Struck out swinging as a pinch hitter back in the 7th. That against Radinsky. With the lefty Sabo still in the game. Another at bat coming for Henry, the right-handed hitter. Now hitting at 125 on the year. And hits that one softly towards short. And the flip to second for 1 out. As Arterburn gets the lead runner. That's all the Spartans will get. Dinkman erased from the base paths. Henry over at first. And I think the Spartans, or the Eagles, might bring in a pinch runner here. Let's see. They Maybe Will. Looks like they're getting someone out of the dugout. Yep. And that appears to be Chris DeVito, who's coming in to pinch run, number 7 for Emory.
Attention please, now running at first base for Emory. Number 7, Chris DeVito.
So DeVito in to pinch run. Lou at the plate. First pitch from Sabo, fouled back, 0-1. Lou 1 for 3 with a walk and a run in the game. Nice one again by Sabo, and it's 0-2. Sabo trying to get the final out of the 8th and give the Spartans a chance down 3 in the 9th. Or pardon me, the final out of the 9th and give the Spartans a chance down 3 in the bottom part of the inning. Spartans have faced longer odds in this. Don't forget the last home UAA series that the Spartans played here before this weekend series. Case Western Reserve was down 8 heading into the 9th against Wash U. Scored 9 in the inning to walk it off. That was in the last game of that series. Again, if you're the Spartans, you've got the right guys coming up. But they've got to piece it together here. You don't want this game to get away here. As that one hit towards third, Carinci can't field it cleanly, tries to flip it over to second. And everyone will be safe. So it'll be a single, infield single for Lou. Tough play for Carinci to make on the move like that. It'll be the 8th hit of the game for Emory. And now Zach Hansen will be the batter, who takes ball 1. Obviously here, if you're Sabo, you're need to go after Hansen here, the 9 here in the lineup. But Hansen's had a nice day. 1 for 1 with 2 runs scored. That one grounded towards the hole. This time Carinci has it, goes the short way to second, and makes the play for the out. And that will end the inning. But the Spartans will have to overcome a 3-run deficit in their final at bat if they want to come away with a win in this one. It'll be Arterburn, Anderson, and Harms due up when we return. Bennett Spiker looking for what would be his 7th save of the year. He's got some tough hitters to get through before he can get to it. But he's looked good today. A couple double plays for Spiker over the last 2 innings. Looks like Case Western Reserve will send a pinch hitter to the plate here for Arterburn. It'll be Mason Nemec who will step up. So Arterburn has been swinging the bat well. We'll give way here to Nemec, who has had a nice start to his Spartan career. Really worked his way into the rotation of players for Case Western Reserve. Nemec hitting at .250, 6 for 24 with 3 doubles, 7 runs batted in. regardless of making an out or getting a hit, Nemec seems to get everything on the barrel. See what he could do here. First pitch taken, outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on the first-year Nemec, who is making his Nobby's ballpark debut. First appearance of the weekend for Nemec. Actually, I take that back. He had one at bat earlier in the week. The 0-1 on the way. And that's inside. Just misses him as the count goes to 1-1. Nemec out of Woodstock, Maryland. Takes that down and away from Spiker. It's 2-1 again. Spiker has already gone 2 2/3 innings in this one, but he's kept his pitch count down with the help of some of those double plays. Just 33 pitches now. Here's his 34th. And that's a little low, 3-1. Last thing you want to do here if you're Spiker is issue a walk to Nemec. He's working quickly, the 3-1. Swung on, ground ball through the right side. Base hit to start the ninth for Mason Nemec. So runner on, and now Jack Anderson will come to bat.
Number 5, Jack Anderson.
Anderson 0 for 3 in this one with a walk. See if he can pick up a hit. First pitch, down and out, ball 1. Chicago leading 2-1 over WashU currently. That game in the bottom of the 7th. As the 1-0 pitch on the way here from Spiker. And it's low, ball 2 to Anderson, 2-0. So things starting to get a bit more exciting here at Nobby's ballpark. The 2-0 pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-1. If you're a Spiker, you would love to keep Anderson off the bases with Harms waiting out on deck. Down and in, ball 3. And that looked to be a strike. That's what Trackman had it at as well. And Spiker there, who put his hands on his head after that call, might have reason to be surprised. Trackman had that well on that inside corner for a strike. 3-1. And Anderson foul tips it back. Full count, 3-2. Spiker going back to that same spot. That time Anderson swinging. And foul tipped it. So 3-2, nobody out. We'll see if Nemec is running here with the count full. Spiker quick to the plate. And that misses outside, ball 4. So Anderson works out the walk, and now Nick Harms comes to the plate representing the potential game-tying run. Harms with 8 home runs this season. 1 in the series came yesterday. And a chance for Nick Harms to do some damage. And that will bring Bobby Perez out to the mound here, and he'll have a talk with Spiker. I doubt he's going to the bullpen, but there is someone warming up out there. No signal yet. And no movement to the mound from the bullpen yet for Emory. Well, things getting interesting. 2 on, nobody out in the 9th. Spiker trying to close this one out, but has worked his way into some trouble in the inning after looking really solid through his first 2 2/3 innings of work. So here we go. First pitch on the way. Low ball 1 to Harms, 1-0. Well, Harms can be patient here and wait for his pitch. Ahead in the count, 1-0. And he swings and hits that one well foul, but hit it hard. And so the count evens 1-1 on Harms. If you were the Spartans, this would be the situation you wanted looking at this inning. 2 on and nobody out with Harms representing the tying run at the plate. Big swing and a miss through that one, and it's 1-2. Harms ramped up on that one. And so now a 2-strike count on Harms. Here's the 1-2. And he hits that in the air, foul to stay alive. Still 1-2 on Harms. Spiker comes set. Looks back to second. Now Roxon delivers. And Harms grounds that one. Stopped by Halloran. Harms trying to beat it out to first. And he does not. Just barely getting there ahead of Harms. Anderson to second. Nemec to third. But again, the runner at the plate is the one that matters right now. That's the potential game-tying run as Tyler Stilson will come to bat with 1 out and 2 on. In a 3-run game, Stilson, 5 home runs on the season, 27 runs batted in. He's hitting at .355. First pitch. And a called strike with the curve, and it's an 0-1 count. The 0-1 to Stilson. Off the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Crunch time here for the Spartans, who trail by 3, but the tying run at the plate. The 1-1 pitch. And he swings. Chopper hit towards third. Going to be a tough play. The runner and the fielder interfering. Let's see what we got. They'll call the runner out on interference. They're calling both out. Let's see. No, they're sending. Let's see what the call is here. So they're going to call the runner back to third. And they will call Jack Anderson out on interference. Stilson safe at first. And so now 2 outs in the inning. So a tough break there for the Spartans. That would have been a really tough play for Conley, the third baseman, to make.
Now batting for the Spartans, number 2, Franco Alonso.
So Nemec has to stay at third. Stilson at first. The potential game-tying run still at the plate for the Spartans, but now 2 outs. And Franco Alonso will be the batter with men on the corners here. Alonso walked in his last at-bat against Spiker and swings and misses at the first pitch on 1. Franco hitting at .359 on the year. 1 for 3 in this game. Dane Camphausen waiting out on deck. That one hit though to second. The throw from Lou to first in time to get the out, and that'll do it. As Emory takes the final game of this 4-game series. The Spartans come away with the series win, but the Eagles take the final contest. Final score is 5-2. As that will do it here.
The Spartans return to Nowie's Ballpark on Friday, April 18th to face NYU. Please travel home safely.
Emory with the win, improving to 18-10 on the year. Case Western Reserve with the loss, dropping to 16-9. Pardon me, 17-9. Emory now 4-4 in conference play. The Spartans fall to 6-2. Winning pitcher is JT Radigan. Radigan on the year improving to 2-1. The save goes to Bennett Spiker. Spiker gets his 7th save of the season, I believe. Indeed, his 7th save. Losing pitcher today, that was Oliver Miller, his first loss of the season. He drops to 2-1 on the year. Today's game lasted 3 hours and 12 minutes, and attendance here at the ballpark was 315. Want to thank everyone once again for joining us. We will see you in a couple weeks when the Spartans return home to face NYU. A big one next weekend. The Spartans on the road at Chicago, so make sure to tune in for those as well, as I'm sure Chicago will have those broadcasted. But once again, Spartans win the series, take 3 out of 4 for the second straight week. They win their 8th straight UAA series dating back to 2023. And that will do it for us here today. Once again, final score of this one, 5-2, Emory with the win. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care.